Avaz? Can you hear us?
Yes, करिए. Yes. हंदमयं बुद्धानुसतिनयं करोमसि. शुरू से करो. पीछे से करो. तीन बाकी. हंदमयं बुद्धस्य भगवतो उपभाग नमकारं करोमसि. नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स. नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स. नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स. हंदमयं बुद्धानुसतिनयं करोमसि. तं खोपन भगवन्तं एवं कल्याण इति सद्दो अभुगतो. इति पिसो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो. विद्याचरण संपन्नो सुगतो लोकविदु. अनुत्तरो पुरुष धम्मसारथि सत्ता देव मनुस्सानं बुद्धो भगवाति. आनंदमयं बुद्धाभिगीतिं करोमसि. बुद्धवारहन्तवरता द्विगुणाभियुतो. शुद्धा विज्ञान करुणा हि समागततो. बोधेसियो सुजनतं कमलं वसुरो. वन्दामहं तमरणं शिरसा जिनेन्दम्. बुद्धो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमम्. पठमानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेणहम्. बुद्धस्सास्मि दासी वा बुद्धो मे सामिकीश्वरो. बुद्धस्सहं नियादेमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं. वन्दन्त्यहं चरिष्यामि धम्मस्यैव सुबोधितम्. नत्थि मे शरणम् अन्यं बुद्धो मे शरणं वरम्. एतेन सच्चवज्जेन वड्ढेयं च तु शासने. बुद्धं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं पशुतम् इद. सप्रीत्यन्तरायामि मायेषु तस्य तेजसा. हंदमयं धम्मानुसतिनयं करोमसि. स्वाखातो भगवता धम्मो सन्दिट्ठिको अकालिको. एहि पश्यिको ओपनैको पश्चात् वेदितव्यो विन्योहीति. हंदमयं धम्माभिगीतिं करोमसि. स्वाखात दादिगुणयोगवस्यसेयो. यो मग्गपाकपरिरतिविमोकभेदो. धम्मो कुलोकपतन तदधारितो. सतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेणहं धम्मस्सहस्मिदासीव धम्मो मे सामिकिस्सरो धम्मसहं नियादेमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं वन्दन्त्यहं चरिष्यामि धम्मस्यैव सुधम्मतं नास्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं धम्मो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्डेयं शासने धम्मं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं पशुतम् इद सभेऽपि अन्तरायामि माहेषु तस्सति। आनन्दमयं सङ्घानुसतिनयं करोमसि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो न्यायपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो सामीचिपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्घो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुषयुगा अष्टपुरुषपुद्गला एष भगवतो सावकसङ्घो आहुनेयो पाहुने दक्षिणेयो अञ्जलिकरणीयो अनुत्तरं पुण्यतीर्थं लोकसाति। आनन्दमयं सङ्गाभिगीतिं करोमसि सधम्मजो सुपटिपतिगुणादियुतो यो अष्टविदो आर्यपुरुषसङ्घसेठो शीलादिधम्मपवरा सयकाय चेतो वन्दामहं तमरिया गणं सुशुद्धं सङ्घो यो सर्वपाणिना शरणं खेममुत्तमं ततीयानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं सङ्घस्स्विदासीव सङ्घो मे सामिकिस्सरो सङ्घसं नियादेमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं वन्दन्त्यहं चरिष्यामि सङ्घस्सोपटिपन्नतं नास्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं सङ्घो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्डेयं सत्पुरुषासने सङ्घं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं पशुतम् इद सभेऽपि अन्तरायामि सुतस्य तेजसा।
अब हम प्रतीक्षा समुत्पाद का रेसिटेशन करेंगे।
अविद्या पच्चया संखारा संखार पच्चया विज्ञानं विज्ञान पच्चया नाम रूपं नाम रूप पच्चया षडायतनं षडायतन पच्चया भस्सो भस्स पच्चया वेदना वेदना पच्चया पच्चया तणहा तणहा पच्चया उपादानम् उपादानपच्चया भवो भवपच्चया जाति जातिपच्चया जरामरणं शोकपरिदेव दुःखदोमनस्सु उपायासा सम्भवन्ति एवमेतस्य केवलस्य दुःखखण्डस्य समुदयो भूति अविद्ययाय त्वमेव अशेष विराग निरोधा संखार निरोधा विज्ञान निरोधा नाम रूप निरोधा षडायतन निरोधा हस्य निरोधा वेदना निरोधा तणहा निरोधा उपादान निरोधा भव निरोधा जाति निरोधा जरा मरणं शोक परिदे दुःख दोमनस्सु उपायासा निरुच्छन्ति एवं एतस्य केवलस्य दुःखखण्डस्य निरोधो भूति
Listen to the discourse by Sri Rodney Smith on the fourth foundation, that is the Manupashana. This is the theme of today's discourse is the effort to discern.
It's predictable where some of you sit every week. It's if I want to see if somebody's here, I can just look at the spot that you're supposed to be in. So I sense that some of our numbers are slipping here, which I thought they might as we approach this fourth foundation. Not slipping a lot, but slipping some. I remember a few years ago I gave a whole year's talk on the ox herding pictures, which is essentially the fourth foundation of mindfulness. And the numbers slipped. As the ox faded out of the picture, the numbers definitely decreased. And we'd have to ask ourselves, what's going on? Why is that occurring? I mean, I ask myself that. You're still coming, the ones that are here. So, but because I think it's we like our spirituality, manageable. We like it in form. We like it as something that we can see, rock hard, solid. And as long as we're talking about the body, we could get our hands around it. And even when we were becoming more subtle into the feeling, still, I can feel a feeling, pleasant, unpleasant, got it. Okay, right. We feel accomplished. It's all manageable. And then things got a little funny when we went into the third foundation, but still, states of mind, okay, happy, sad, miserable, I got that. Still, it was still manageable. But where are we now? You see? What's manageable about the formless? Where are you going to sit? What are you going to grab? How are you going to verify or validate yourself? And so, perhaps in that vagueness, or perhaps by the fear of what that might acknowledge about our true existence, we wiggle. And wiggling means, in terms of a assembly, that people don't come as easily to that. Because it's not as easily seen, although it is the seeing. How far away could it be? How far away is your sight? How far away is the scene of this moment? Well, that's such an interesting question, you see. We put it so remote, we make it so remote, so distant, so impossible, and it's so close. We carry it with us. It can't possibly escape. But we're so used to looking at the particulars within the moment that we meet what it is that sees, what it is that holds everything. It's like knowing the earth only from the sense of the continents and forgetting the oceans. Although the oceans surround the continents and are 75% of the mass or the square acreage of the earth. And so as we get more remote, even though the remoteness is what defines the sacred, it's not the form that defines the sacred. I mean, if that were the sacred, then we would have a field day every day within the sacred. But we don't, because the sacred just reflects back what we know, and what we know inhibits or obscures the sacred. And so form just represents our life. So what is it that gives us the sacred? Why are we here, you see? What are we doing here? Another way of, so what makes our life meaningful? It's a fair question, isn't it? What makes our life meaningful? Aliveness is what makes it meaningful. What's the definition of that? What we do within our life is the form our life takes. But what is aliveness itself? What is at the heart of our very existence? And that is uncontrollable. You see? It can't be manipulated. And because it's beyond our efforts to procure it, to assure it, we would rather move to something that is more manageable, like our efforts to concentrate. Or our difficulty with the pains of our knee. It's very manageable. Even though it's a problem, it's workable. And I can give you all the forms and cultivations and qualities that help you work with it. And I'll work with those qualities and try to cultivate those qualities so that I'll have the resources available to manage the difficulty that's in front of me. And that's what 99.9% of spirituality is in this country. And I'm not talking about religion. That's way off. In the Hindu tradition, it's talked about in terms of the hoofs of the cow. And all four hoofs of the cow are on the earth. It's a very sacred time. And it's said that this particular time, or phase, or era, there's only one hoof of the cow that touches the earth. And yet the earth desperately needs all four hoofs. Desperately. And so the formless, to welcome it, even if it seems remote, though it is not. Let us not assume that it's remote. Let us not assume that there's a distance between ourselves and it at all. Let's not place anything between us and that possibility, that touched sense or felt sense of presence. And then we know the fourth foundation. We know the fourth foundation. Now what I'm interested in, and we've talked about the discerning factor of mind. We've spent a lot of time talking about the difference between active and passive discernment, and that this quality of presence has intrinsic to it the ability to, an intelligence, an embodied intelligence. Embodied is the wrong word. An intrinsic intelligence. And the mind's chatter, with the intellectual reference of what it's seeing, often has a commentary that's associated with that intelligence. And we give credence to the commentary, the intellectual overlay on the intelligence. But it's the sense of the intuitive. You see, the intuitive. That's the embodiment of the embodiment against the wrong word. That is the manifestation of awareness. It's okay if the mind comes in and comments upon what it sees and provides a strategy to what it sees and all of that, as long as you don't take that as the discerning quality itself, as long as you give reference to where it properly exists. And in these suttas, in the sutta, I mean, they talk about the effects of states of mind on awareness, as if the states of mind were the fourth quality, fourth foundation. Those are just what is being discerned. The discernment is the fourth foundation. It doesn't matter if it's the 7 factors or the 5 hindrances or the 3 characteristics, or those are just reference ways to say the discernment and intelligence is ongoing, is looking, is seeing, is the total. It's not the lists, it's the discerning that is the foundation. Because the discerning takes you out of yourself. The lists give you a governance within yourself. Now if you have a list, you have something to do. I'm missing number 4. Right? It gives you a sense of embodied struggle to have a list. Somewhere it's been lost, I feel. I mean, you can throw me out the window and take back other, I don't know. This is no, I'm fairly certain that this is, actually I am fairly certain this is, so you see, what we're going to do for the rest of the time, we have, this is 3 more talks after this, or 3 of the 4 talks with this talk included. I'm going to bring an application of discernment. What does it mean to discern the sutta, to discern the literature, the scriptures, or whatever it is that we're reading, or life itself? Because our tendency is to feel disempowered in our ability to discern. We don't feel adequate. We don't feel like we have that ability, when everyone does, but we feel like we're the one that was left out of it. And so to call back the full empowerment of discernment, as we have mentioned in previous talks, we have to be independent of other authorities. including our own inward authority of past experience, the authority of of a past experience. This has an authority over us. When I've seen something in the past, it has a way of keeping me contained within the knowledge of what I know that thing to be. That's an authority, Krishnamurti used to say. But discernment not only sees the authority. It feels the authority. So we can't limit the discernment. It has to be complete. Because our doubt will keep us within the authority rather than seeing the authority. Wherever it is that we hesitate, wherever it is that we're neurotically needy, we will miss what the compensation is for that neediness. You see? Am I speaking Greek? And so what we do, and I again see this missing in much of the literature and much of the writing, is that we use an implied dharma. We bring our discernment to bear as the truth. And then where the literature or the texts fall out of that intuitive sense of ourselves knowing, we let the literature go. We follow the intuitive, the sense of guide. That's our guide. Instead of holding ourselves to the word when it doesn't feel right, we hold ourselves to the sense of it being right and release ourselves from the word. And so I want to read a paragraph of the fourth foundation with the idea of the application of discernment. How do we apply this discernment? There is a case where a monk discerns the arising of mental qualities in and of themselves with reference to the five hindrances. And how does a monk discern the arising of these mental qualities in and of themselves with reference to the five hindrances? There is the case where, there being sensual desire present within a monk, he discerns there is sensual desire present within me. Or, there being no sensual desire present within, he discerns that there is no sensual desire present within. He discerns how there is the arising of unarisen sensual desire, and whatever that means. And he discerns how there is the abandoning of sensual desire once it has arisen. And he discerns how there is no future arising of sensual desire that has been abandoned. The same formula is repeated for the aggregates, the seven factors, the six sense doors, the four noble truths, etc. So, what is, like, Mom? What is that? What's being said there? We should know what's being said there. And we should bring our own ability to discern what's being said there into what's being said. And the first thing we have to realize is that the emphasis on this is the discerning, not the lists, as I had mentioned. It doesn't matter what we're discerning. Really, it doesn't. Being open to whatever life brings forth is the quality of open discernment, of open awareness. And one of the things that grabs me and should grab you as you read through these is that the monk, there is sensual desire present within me. Well, within me all just catches my, wait a second here. Where's the anatta, the emptiness in that phrase? What's going on there where he referenced himself as the discerning person? Already it seems like we're missing the boat here, because discernment is the formless. It's not contained within the form. We claim reference to the form having the discernment, but really it's a free-floating aspect, embodiment of life, really. So you begin to, you just bring forth some of the wisdom that we have accrued from our own practice within these four foundations, so that when we read the literature that governs the four foundations, we have a sense of whether it feels right or not. Not the arcane speech. That doesn't feel right to anyone, I don't think. Certainly doesn't feel right to me. But some of the word usage, and you know that something's out of sorts there. Somebody who wrote it down was limited in their understanding, basically. So the question is, you see, just within this ability to discern, gives us ability to sense our own intuitive rightness. And so this particular passage is talking about the five hindrances, but the question I would ask is, why do we call them hindrances? Hindrance to what? That's where the discernment needs to go. It needs to go to the very basic assumptions on which this thing is. We're going to call these the five hindrances. Now in Pali, they're actually called coverings. The Pali word for hindrance is actually about coverings or obscuration. But why is it, what's obscuring? If I'm willing to discern, if I'm willing to see, if I'm willing to look, nothing is being denied access. There is no covering. There is no hindrance here. So the term hindrance, as it's been translated in this age, feels misplaced somehow. I'm not a hindrance. This isn't a hindrance. Is sense desire a hindrance? Why is it a hindrance? A hindrance to whom? I'm willing to feel sense desire. I'm willing to see into sense desire. If I'm willing to see into sense desire, discernment can approach it and cover it and have complete understanding of it. If I turn from it, then I have made something that was never a hindrance into a hindrance, because it's from my fear of it being something that will control me. My sense desires will control me. And then you have what's left over is a whole attempt to try to get back into the right alignment to our sense desires so they'll no longer control us. But behind that is a fear that they will still control us and a timidity to the sense desire. It's nonsense. Let's just see what a sense desire is. And if I get caught up in it, I get caught up in it. So I go underwater for a while. So what? A cork always comes back to the surface. Okay, so here we go. Let me look at these sense desires straight on. You see? And now there's this freedom of exploration, this sense of spirit being unbound, no longer controlled by the fears of the limitation of me. What I'm afraid this sense desire will do to me. What I'm afraid the rest of these hindrances, how they will control me. And the literature is steeped with warnings about the hindrances. And so we gulp when one of them comes in our practice, which most frequently they do. See, we have to be careful that we don't make the Dharma a formula, a good and bad grouping. Okay, the good qualities are over here, the bad qualities are over there. I'll stay away from those, and if I can just bring more and more of my time abiding within the good qualities, then somehow the Dharma will carry me into an experience that will be what? That will be what? That will be divisive, because I've already turned away from half my life. You think that liberation, which liberation to all things, is going to come from turning away from anything? It doesn't make sense. Even to the beginning student. But what I'm asking from you is a courage. Because we are so scarred from our failures, from our mistakes, from our discouragement, we're afraid of making mistakes in spiritual practice. We're afraid of the timidity factor. We're afraid of we have to get this right because the rest of our life doesn't feel like it's going right at all. And I really want this to get this right. And it gives us a kind of a pause or a fear relationship to it. And what we need to do is to come out of that. Discernment is a radical movement out of that. Taking everything on. And admitting where you don't understand something. And not letting that lack of understanding keep you from the full embodiment of it. So what does it mean? What is a skillful state or an unskillful state? What does that mean? Skillful. Skillful to what? To whom? Beneficial to how is it beneficial? This is an unskillful state. What does that mean? I'm going to feel it. Decide for myself. Now the words are no longer from the Buddha. The words are now from us because we have translated the experience into us. And now the richness of that realization comes out. And we are no longer leading with a kind of fear of making a mistake in our practice. There is no possibility of you ever making a mistake in your practice as long as you're willing to see what you're doing. No possibility. So let us become unbound in this. There's so much to learn. You know, I was talking to the beginning class last night, and they're just starting. You know, they're just like toddlers that are just, and you want to infuse the courage to keep walking. That's really what you want to encourage them, so that their legs will grow in strength, and that they'll. And you know how much there is that they have to be willing to see, right? And many of us have lost that willingness, that we're comfortable with the knowing and the philosophy and even insights into the different aspects of the Dharma, but we haven't crossed a critical threshold in which we are actually engaging those insights into our living experience. And this is a terrible fault that we have. And I've seen it again and again and again at crucial times in many students, very experienced students' lives, where there will be a travesty, a trauma, an illness, a loss of something or someone. And they will remain caged within their own paradigm. They won't bring the Dharma out. They won't. This is a matter of not just, knowing the fact of surrender, but surrendering. Of not just of knowing what is right and how the facts and the noble truths of suffering, but ending the suffering. Acting upon that. And every one of us has that capability. It's just that we stay within our timidity of the fear. And as soon as we do that, as soon as we give over the courage to the timidity, then we are bound within the paradigm of safety, within the caution of our fear of making a mistake. And you think you're growing, you sit, you go on retreats, you have deeper understandings of the Dharma as you read them and hear it. But there's a way that there's inertia that there's just a lack of real movement. And I just want to encourage us. Okay, this, when the difficult, okay, let's just apply. What's the application here in this moment? As my friend Narayan says, where's the liberation? You've been studying it now for 20 years. Where is it? Show it to me. So I want to look at some of the 4 great efforts the Buddha talked about, and I want to look at it from a sense of discernment, and I want to look and see whether it makes sense as we read it, because we follow it. We believe, well, the Buddha said it. Okay, so this is what I've got to do. But let's look at it from the depth of our wisdom and see whether it matches what we know to be true or what feels truthful to us, if those words match, if they correspond to that feeling of truth, or whether it's like, what? And you start reading this stuff, and hopefully there will be a big what that comes into you in some of this. So let's just, because some of this is just, okay, so the 4 great efforts. Just let me give you an overview. 4 great efforts that the Buddha talked about. Now, first of all, we don't know what he said. That's the first thing. Second thing, we don't know who he said that whatever he said to. We don't know who he said it to, because oftentimes his instructions and his teaching were corresponding to the understanding of the person he was speaking. If he spoke to his 8-year-old son, it was very different than speaking to a very realized monk, and he would say different things. So, but we just follow the words without putting them into perspective. So these 4 great efforts is really, we want to cultivate what is wholesome. We want to sustain the wholesome once it's cultivated. I'm giving you the overview. We want to eliminate the unwholesome once it has arisen, and we want to make sure that unwholesome states of mind that have not arisen do not arise. There should be a big... Every one of us should question that. Now you have met the Buddha on your terms, with your courage. Right? You don't fall in line here as an obedient Buddhist and have some monk who has many, many years of being a monk set you a course in which you're shaking your head the whole time. What is going on? You listen from your own sense of discernment. So let's just look at these things, because I think they're worth listening to. Cultivating the wholesome and the helpful and the beneficial. Well, first of all, the word cultivation sticks in my throat, because only a person who feels replete, diminished in some quality, is going to cultivate another quality. And the sense of being a person is the embodiment of some sense of diminishment. That's what keeps us moving as a person, as we feel diminished, discontent. Something about us is driving ourselves through the present into the future, where we can claim the prize of full contentment, full worth, for a full glory, whatever. And so cultivation really reinforces that particular depiction of a person, of a sense of me who needs the future in order to be fulfilled. Okay, so strike one. That doesn't work. Okay, so let's change the word. How about inclining? How about inclining towards the wholesome? Now you begin to get, okay, so that makes a little more sense, because there are times in our lives when there's so much turbulence going on that unless we incline our mind towards calm, and you can all do it, you can sit and just say, let calm arise, Give yourself that intention, and you will feel often that very quality arising. In fact, in the Buddha's instructions in the Anapanasati Sutta, he says, let me feel the calm in the in-breath. Let me feel the calm on the exhalation. So he's really encouraging the intention of calm as these different sensations arises. Now, it's okay, so that's fair enough. Not that there is anything wrong with the mind states that are occurring, but if the boat is rocking around a lot, I'm not going to be able to see much. And so to invite or incline a quality of mind that stabilizes that boat so that I can begin to see and look around and get to know, that makes sense. So it's not so much cultivation as just inclining towards a quieter sea. Okay, let me just relax in this moment. Let me just release the tension that I feel this moment contains. Let me just stabilize what is here by denying nothing that is here. And then all of a sudden you find your mind really taking a very serene and balanced, poised view. And now you can look out, and it's fine. That's a beautiful, and you realize that certain qualities can be very helpful to have when you're trying to engage in an observation, when you're trying to look and see what's there. But at some point, we have to see what it is that we're trying to get out of to make it into something that's calm. What is it that seems to be so irritating in me? Let me look at that which is such an irritant. Instead of letting me offset that irritant with a calming quality, let me see the irritant for what it is in its completion. And it's a useful task, a skill that each of us can do if we simply, while we're sitting, say, nothing is going to move me. I'm going to see everything that attempts to move me in this moment. Everything that attempts to move consciousness in this moment is going to be seen. You see how quiet you become immediately. And the only place that you can land from that statement is the formless. Because any form you land on is more of the movement. Now, we also realize that not all of us are up to complete stillness in every moment, and that we need some skillful means, and discernment sees that. It's not so absolute that it doesn't recognize, okay, so let's just bring in some skillful means here so that I can help balance this shaky consciousness out, and so that I can have some sense of balance here to get myself stabilized so that I can have some sense of ground under my feet. So skillful means can be very helpful. But this tradition, the tradition we are in, insight tradition, is so full of skillful means that we never find our way to the formless. That's what I mean by one hoof on the ground. So as I talk about skillful means, let us not just claim total reference to those possibilities and forget about the absolute formlessness that really satisfies all difficulties. But the precepts are very helpful when we want to encourage more wholesome states of mind. And so that when you're, there's less of a sense of drama, less of a sense of paranoia in us, more of a sense of stability, of integrity. We're not cringing with a paranoid idea that we might be discovered. You know, it's like you're just relaxed in the moment because you have nothing to hide. And so that is a tremendous asset to the ability to sustain calm. And you begin to see that not only is it an asset to sustain calm, but what calm shows you is the need to be integritous. So both ends are helped. And then there's metta practice, which establishes a connectedness to a certain uncomfortable relationships and a sense of settledness within that. There's the spirit of generosity, or the act of generosity, which establishes a balanced mind and mental harmony and our willingness to give, and joy within that as well. There's forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and other forgiveness that can be very helpful. All of these, what we've talked about in the past and we'll talk about again, can be very useful. And there can be the absolute resolution not to move in relationship to any state whatsoever. And so one has to be very empty of oneself in order for that state to arise. Now, the second of these four noble efforts is to maintain the wholesome once it is developed. And may I say, they're not fragile. It's not like, oh, I've got this beautiful state of calm. Now I don't want to move too fast because how do I maintain it, And I've seen some meditators try to maintain their retreat experience after the retreat. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. Okay, I was with one woman who was driving me back to the airport, and she was driving 10 miles an hour. And I said, speed limit's 50, and I'm not going to get to the airport at 10 miles an hour. She said, I don't want to disturb my mind. I said, well, you're disturbing my mind. So I don't like trying to maintain. If it's trying to be maintained, it's not worth maintaining. If it slips out of it's not. What is it where is this thing called calm? I want to call it up. I want it to, if it's not here, it's not worth pursuing, is my sense. Where is their love? Where is their serenity? And am I willing to question, actively discern anything that seems to obstruct that? Rather than trying to maintain it, let's look at what obstructs it so that it seems as if I don't have access to it. Now you see, now this is the empowered position. This isn't the feared position. This isn't the cringing, I have to, my spiritual practice is so fragile. It's not fragile. Come out and growl like a lion. The courage of it. Some hints is that pausing and allowing ourselves time to be able to consider what is interrupting ourselves and where the wholesome is being interrupted. Reestablishing a sense of connection. With you establish a sense of connection, wholesomeness will follow that sense of connectedness. If you're willing to look at the emotion that seems to disconnect, what will follow is a sense of connected emotion around that very mind state. If you're even in the most difficult state of mind, like one's loneliness or whatever it is, if you're willing to just perceive it fully, the power has been dramatically drained from the power that it has over us, because its power only is contained in the story that it has for us. And once we're aware of it, the story is diminished considerably. And once the story is diminished, what arises in place of the energy in which that story was invested is the space to be able to see. Maintaining the wholesome. Maintaining. Overcoming the unwholesome states that are present. Overcoming the unwholesome state. It sounds like you're standing at the door with a machete. Overcoming is self. That's what the self does. It looks away. It seeks its own refuge away from the difficulty. The practice is to move into the difficult. In the heart, I mean, just access if we just access the heart, we'll know our way. If we line ourselves up so that we're not blaming, see, but what keeps those unwholesome states so tenaciously identified is that we're simply not allowing ourselves to be accountable to them. We're not seeing them at rest. We're seeing them as blame. You have to see something at rest for it to be seen. If you're blaming your anger on someone, you're not seeing it at all. It's not your fault that you're angry. It's his fault. Why should you take responsibility for it? Why should you even be accountable to it? This is why accountability is so tremendously important, because it allows a rest, to come to rest with this. And then the guarding against the unwholesome that have not yet arisen. I was listening to a tape of an Australian monk, and he was being asked a question, and the questioner was saying, if you were out and saw a beautiful sunrise, what would you do? And he said, I'd turn my back on it. And I said, well, hang some garlic around my door. That's nonsense. We're not trying to protect ourselves from anything here. We're not anti-feeling pleasure. This isn't an anti-pleasure trip. Not at all. Do you know that? Not at all. Pleasure comes, it's beautiful. But to only want pleasure, or to seek pleasure in opposition to, that's where it gets troublesome. But when pleasure comes, it's, sunrise, wow. And then it's gone. Guarding against the unwholesome, like an overbearing vigilance to make sure nothing comes into my mind, and that just establishes you as the reference for your mind. That sets your watcher very powerfully in place so that you'll be vigilant to yourself. And that's dualistic nonsense. It's suffering. Stress. You can feel the stress. A relaxed knowing. Well, yeah, of course you want to know what's coming into your mind, but it doesn't have to be stressful. Whoa. And you realize that some things are beyond your ability to cope with them. Very well. Then distract yourself skillfully so that you don't do that in the moment. And so you sort of pick you know your strengths. That's what discernment knows. It has a beautiful idea, understanding of the potential that you have in that moment, as well as what you're meeting and what's coming in. And sometimes the best thing to do is to skillfully retreat from it. It's no problem. Only to come back out at a time when I feel more empowered. And sometimes, we all go through phases of our practice when just avoiding certain people because how they burden our consciousness. I can't seem to, when I'm with my mother, father, sister, brother, boss, fill in the blank, when I'm with my mother, let us say, I just get lost, you know. And then perhaps a skillful thing to do is to pass up Thanksgiving. It's just, it's too disturbing, right? And then at a different time, when you're strong enough and you can handle your own conditioning in relationship to that person, then there's no reason not to rejoin. Knowing yourself, that's what we're talking about, knowing what your capacity here. Not pretending, just being honest and direct with. Very simple. And when we are caught in situations that are not to our advantage, we bring as much observation as we can to it. And that's all that's necessary for us to learn ourselves into the next level of response to that. Sometimes we can't get out of the difficult, nor do we want to. Sometimes we can't get out of the company that's around us. It comes. And then we just take it on. And we just stay as vigilant as we can. We stay as watchful and as aware as we can in that moment to all the different ways our minds get lost. It's okay. Everybody's practice is okay. Hmm? Okay, we'll sit for a minute or two.
Zitre dosh. Pata pe pata se biseda zorbanda. मैं प्रवचन का सारांश आपके सामने रखता हूँ। आज का प्रवचन काफ़ी आपको चैलेंजिंग हो सकता है लगा हो, तो वो उसमें कई बातें विचार करने योग्य हैं हमारे लिए। पहले उन्होंने बताया कि हमको जो भगवान कह रहे हैं बार बार कि हमको समझना चाहिए, पहचान आती है मतलब जानना चाहिए, समझना चाहिए उसको, वो उसके लिए एफर्ट जो है वो कैसे करना चाहिए। तो पहले वो वही बताने लगे, क्योंकि जिस दिन ये टॉक दी गई उस दिन लोग कम आए थे पहले से। उन्होंने कहा कि वो मुझे एक्सपेक्टेड ही था कि जैसे जैसे हम और एब्स्ट्रैक्ट चीज़ों की अब चलेंगे, जैसे फर्स्ट फाउंडेशन, सेकंड, थर्ड जो है वो तो थोड़ी थोड़ी समझ में आती हैं। जब हम फोर्थ फाउंडेशन को फॉर्मलेस की तरफ देखते हैं कि हमको फॉर्मलेस की तरफ, अवेयरनेस की तरफ जाना है, जो चीज़ हम महसूस डायरेक्टली हमको दिखती नहीं है, जिसको हम मैनेज नहीं कर सकते, जो कंट्रोलेबल नहीं है, तो इसलिए हमारे लोग को लगता है ये बड़ी अजीब सी चीज़ है। बट वो चीज़ इतनी नज़दीक है हमारे, ये बड़ी विडम्बना है कि हम जो चीज़ दिखती है हमको वो तो हम देख सकते हैं, लेकिन जिस कारण से हम देख पा रहे हैं उसकी ओर हमारा ध्यान नहीं जाता। हालांकि वो हमारे बिल्कुल अंतरंग है, उसके लिए जाने का हमारे बाहर नहीं, अंदर ही अंदर है। तो जो भारतीय स्पिरिचुअलिटी के अंदर ये जो बात आती है वो उसी की ओर ध्यान दिला रहे हैं कि जो देखा जा रहा है वो महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, जो देखने की क्षमता है वो महत्वपूर्ण है, क्योंकि वो प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस से, चित्त से, जैसे भी कह लीजिए, शुद्ध चित्त से देखने की क्षमता आ रही है। जो हमारी जीवन की क्षमता है, जीवित इंद्रिय जिसे अभिधम्म में कहा जाता है, जिस कारण से हम जीवित हैं, जो हमारा क्षमता जिस कारण से जीवित हैं और जिसके जीवन की जो मैनिफेस्टेशन होती है जानने के रूप में, वो हम उसकी ओर ध्यान नहीं देते। तो इस कारण से सारी स्पिरिचुअलिटी उसी डोमेन में रहती है जो हमारे लिए मैनेजेबल हो, जो ठीक से समझ आ रहा है, बुद्धि के स्तर पे आ रहा है। टांग में दर्द है तो उसको ध्यान लेंगे, ध्यान नहीं हो रहे, कंसंट्रेशन कम है, वो तो सब मैनेजेबल है क्योंकि वो समझ में आ जाती है बात। लेकिन जो इंट्यूटिव चीज़ें हैं जो हमको डायरेक्टली ऑब्जेक्टिवली नहीं देख सकते, जैसे अजान सुबह बताते हैं कि जो अवेयरनेस है उसको ऑब्जेक्टिवली नहीं देख सकते, क्योंकि अवेयरनेस जो है सब्जेक्टिव है, जिसके कारण हम देख रहे हैं उसको कैसे देखेंगे। जैसे वो बताते हैं कि आँख से हम सब चीज़ देख रहे हैं, लेकिन आँख के कारण हम आँख को नहीं देख सकते, इसलिए वो थोड़ा एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लगता है और हमारा मन उसमें उन बातों की ओर ध्यान देने को मन नहीं करता है। तो इस बात को उन्होंने शुरू किया बताने के लिए कि हमको समझना चाहिए, अपनी समझ इतनी बढ़ानी चाहिए कि जो सुत्त हैं उसको ठीक से समझें, जीवन को ठीक से समझें, और जो सुत्त के शब्द हैं उनको ही पकड़ के ना बैठ जाएं, उसका अंदर का जो मतलब है वो जैसे समझें। तो वो 5 निवरण के बारे में बात कर उन्होंने पढ़ा और बताया कि उनको लगा कि ये सब निवरण की क्या बात हो रही है। जब हम कह रहे हैं कि जो सी भी मन की स्थिति है उसको हमको देखना है, तो ये निवरण की बात क्यों की जा रही है? क्योंकि कोई भी चीज़ अच्छी या बुरी क्यों कहते हैं? अच्छी और बुरी कहेंगे तो वो सब बातें वो एक परिप्रेक्ष्य में कर रहे हैं। वो इसके लिए हमको ये बहुत आवश्यक है कि कहीं हम इसको भी अतियों में ना ले जाएं। वो मुख्य बात ये ध्यान दे रहे हैं कि जब हमारा उद्देश्य फॉर्मलेस है तो इस तरह की चीज़ों, इस तरह के डिवीज़न को हमको लाइटली लेना चाहिए। लेकिन जो साधक शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, जो साधना शुरू में कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए बहुत आवश्यक है कि वो उसको अलग अलग करके देखें, नहीं तो भटक जाएंगे बिल्कुल। जो हमारी क्षमता है जानने की, वो क्षमता ही नहीं बनेगी। सती तभी प्रतिष्ठित होगी जब चित्त शांत होगा, जब उसमें बुरी आदतें नहीं होंगी, जब उसमें डाउट नहीं होगा, जब उसमें कामछंद नहीं होगा, जब उसमें व्यापार, अगर वो कामछंद व्यापार इतने ज़्यादा होंगे तो आप कैसे सती जगाएंगे? तो वो क्योंकि वो फॉर्मलेस में इतने व्याप्त हैं, वो उस बात को उतना महत्व नहीं दे रहे हैं। हालांकि अंत में धीरे धीरे आते आते अंत में उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ जो है वो जैसे वो समावायाम में, क्योंकि शब्द अंग्रेज़ी का ट्रांसलेशन में ऐसी प्रॉब्लम हो गई है कि वो ट्रांसलेशन जो है उसका ग्रेट एफर्ट कह दिया समावायामों को, जबकि उसका मतलब है वाइज की सम्यक एक्सरसाइज करनी। अब व्यायाम को हम समझते हैं हिंदी में, सम्यक को हम समझते हैं, लेकिन जब आप उसका ट्रांसलेशन ग्रेट एफर्ट कर देंगे तो आदमी पुट ऑफ हो जाएगा कि ग्रेट एफर्ट क्या करना है। जब हम कह रहे हैं कि हमको सिर्फ देखना है तो एफर्ट की क्या बात है? तो इसमें ट्रांसलेशन की भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। और दूसरी प्रॉब्लम है कि जिस परंपरा में वो ज़्यादा एक्सपोज हुए, बर्मीज़ परंपरा में शुरू में, उसका उन पर बड़ा असर पड़ा है, तो इसलिए वो उसके कारण बड़े परेशान हो जाते हैं कि ये चीज़ें ठीक नहीं हैं, जबकि भगवान हमें कह रहे हैं कि जो कुछ भी है देखना है। पर अल्टीमेटली उन्होंने कल्टिवेशन शब्द से उनको परेशानी थी, उन्होंने कहा उसकी जगह इनक्लाइनिंग टुवर्ड्स होना चाहिए। तो वो समझ सकते हैं कि ट्रांसलेशन की प्रॉब्लम है। फिर उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ स्किलफुल मीन्स जो हैं वो भी आवश्यक हैं, बट वो हमको स्किलफुल मीन्स ही अपनी साधना का उद्देश्य नहीं बनाना चाहिए, जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है। क्योंकि कई साधक सिर्फ स्किलफुल मीन्स को ही, किस तरह से हम अपनी पेन, घुटने के दर्द को ठीक कर लें, मेरा मन बहुत भटक रहा है उसको कैसे वापस ले आऊँ, मन बहुत बेचैन हो रहा है, शांति नहीं हो रही, उसको कैसे ले आऊँ, हम उसी में उलझे रहते हैं। तो वो बात बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है जो वो कह रहे थे कि स्किलफुल मीन्स आर नेसेसरी, लेकिन वो साधना का अंत नहीं है। और फिर उन्होंने बताया जैसे कि शील कितने महत्वपूर्ण है, कि शील नहीं होगा तो हमारा मन स्टेबल नहीं होगा, भय बैठा रहेगा। फिर मैत्री की बात की, फिर क्षमा की बात की, जनरॉसिटी दान की बात की। तो अंत में उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ ये सब चीज़ें आवश्यक हैं क्योंकि हमारे मन को शांत रखती हैं, लेकिन मुख्य बात तो वही है कि शांत चित्त से हम देखें कि क्या हो रहा है। तो वो बात बिल्कुल सत्य है कि जो मन में उठ रहा है उसको देखना है और उसको अवेयरनेस के लेवल पर उसको जाने देना है। क्योंकि अगर हम बार बार जैसे वो कह रहे थे, अगर आप यू आर विलिंग टू सी फुल्ली एनी स्टेज कैन यू मैनेज, तो किसी भी स्टेट को हम ये कहें कि निवरण है या हमको बुरी अवस्थाओं से बचना चाहिए, अच्छी अवस्थाओं की कल्टिवेट करना, उसमें ट्रांसलेशन में ऐसा आ गया ना, कल्टिवेट करना चाहिए। तो लगता है कल्टिवेशन का काम तो हम आत्मभाव से ही करेंगे, वो बात सत्य भी है, लेकिन अगर हम उसी में उलझे रहेंगे तो मुश्किल होगी। शुरू में हर आदमी को साधना आत्मभाव से ही करनी पड़ती है। ये इन्होंने पहले शिविर में कहा, पहली टॉक में कहा भी था, लेकिन यहाँ पे आते आते वो डाइल्यूट हो जाता है। तो इसलिए हमको उस बात का ध्यान रखना चाहिए, हमको भी अपनी डिसर्नमेंट यूज़ करनी चाहिए उनके टॉक को समझने के लिए, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि वो बहुत सटल लेवल से बात करते हैं, तो उसको हमको समझना चाहिए। आठ में उन्होंने कहा कि अब अल्टीमेटली हमको कैपेसिटी देखनी पड़ती है कि हमारी सिचुएशन को हैंडल कर सकते हैं कि नहीं। जैसे वो कह रहे बीच में आता था ना एक व्यायाम जो सम्यक व्यायाम में है कि जो अनहोलसम स्टेट्स हैं उनसे अपने को बचा के रखें। उन्होंने कहा कि पहले तो उन्होंने कहा कि क्यों बचा के रखें, क्यों हम हैंडल नहीं कर सकते। फिर उन्होंने कहा नहीं क्योंकि बचा के रखने के बाद में तो ड्यूअलिस्टिक आ जाता है, मैं हूँ मैं एफर्ट हूँ। फिर उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ कभी कुछ लोगों को अवॉइड करना ज़रूरी हो जाता है, कुछ परिस्थितियों को देखना पड़ता है। वो कहते हैं हाँ अगर हमारे में डिसर्नमेंट है, मतलब अगर हम इतनी जानकारी हमारे में है कि हम देख सकें हमारी क्षमता कितनी है, परिस्थिति कैसी कितनी है, उस डिसर्नमेंट के लिए ये सब आवश्यक है। ये बात कई बार आदमी भूल जाता है जब वो फॉर्मलेस के रियल में ज़्यादा चला जाता है। इसीलिए कहा जाता है, जैसे अजान अमरो बार बार कहते हैं कि फॉर्मलेस और फॉर्म दोनों रेल्म को हमको मैनेज करना है और दोनों में से किसी में भी अटकना नहीं है। वो आप लोगों को याद होगा, मैंने रामदास की एक टॉक आपको सुनाई थी, नो वेयर टू स्टैंड। वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है हम लोगों को समझना कि ना हम इस चक्कर में रहें कि जो फॉर्म है, जो रूप है, जो रूप के अंदर जो काम आ रहा है, मन की स्थितियाँ, शरीर, उसी को मैनेज कर लें। ना ही फॉर्मलेस है कि जो प्योर अवेयरनेस है, प्योर अवेकनेस है, उसी में लगे रहे। दोनों को सामंजस्य करना है। ख़ास तौर पे हम लोगों को जो गृहस्थ हैं, हमको दोनों स्थिति मैनेज करनी है। तो ये हमारे लिए, अपने लिए भी, हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है कि जो जो चीज़ें हमको ठीक लग रही हैं उसको एक्सेप्ट करें और जो हिंट वो दे रहे हैं उसको बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हिंट्स को समझने का प्रयास करें। क्योंकि इस तरह के हिंट सामान्यतः मिलते नहीं हैं। लोग बहुत कतराते हैं किसी पे कमेंट करने पे। आज सुबह मैंने जो हमने प्रवचन सुना था, वो कल मैंने काफ़ी रिसर्च करके ढूंढा था वो प्रवचन। वो एक मैंने पहला प्रवचन सुना है ऐसा, जिसमें कि थाई फॉरेस्ट एडिशन के एक सीनियर अजान दूसरे सीनियर अजान की प्रैक्टिस के बारे में कह रहे हैं और बड़े पॉजिटिव भी कह रहे हैं और ये भी कह रहे हैं कि मुझे वो एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है। ऐसी क्षमता हमें भी आनी चाहिए कि हम देख सकें कौन सी प्रैक्टिस मेरे लिए सूटेबल है। यह नहीं कि दूसरी जो मेरे लिए सूटेबल नहीं है वो गलत है। उन्होंने कहा कि वो अजान अनंत के साथ कितना समक रहे हैं, कितना उनका रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, लेकिन उनकी साधना जो है वो उनको लगता है मेरे लायक नहीं है, मेरे टेम्परामेंट के, मेरे कल्चर के, मेरी हैबिट पैटर्न्स के लिए वो उचित नहीं है, इसलिए वो दूसरी साधना करते हैं। जैसे उन्होंने कहा गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस एंड सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस। तो जो रॉडनी स्मिथ कह रहे हैं वो सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस की बात कर रहे हैं। गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस को रॉडनी स्मिथ गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस को नकार देते हैं। उनको मुनिंदों ने नकारा नहीं उसको, उन्होंने कहा कि वो भी उचित है, वो भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है और जिनको वो सूटेबल है वो उनको वो करनी चाहिए। तो वो भाव बहुत उत्तम भाव है जो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, इसलिए मैंने शेयर किया आज आपसे। आप उस पर भी विचार करिएगा। तो ये चैलेंजिंग प्रवचन हमारे लिए बहुत आवश्यक हैं, क्योंकि अब हम 10, 20, 30 साल से साधना कर रहे हैं, तो हमको भी अपने लिए एक क्लियर पाथ बनाना होगा ताकि हम कॉन्फिडेंटली कह सकें कि हम मुक्ति की राह पे पहुंच गए हैं। नहीं तो हमेशा डाउट और ऐसे करूं, वैसे करूं, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, वो सब बातें छूट जाएंगी अगर हमारे में ये डिसर्नमेंट और समझ जो है और कॉन्फिडेंस इतना आ जाए कि हाँ बिल्कुल क्लियर है कि ऐसा ऐसा होता है। अब करुणा ब्रह्म विहार की आज हमने सोचा था करेंगे। थोड़ी देर शांत कर लेते हैं मन को। करुणा का ब्रह्म विहार का आलम्बन दुख रहता है। तो इस समय दुख की कोई कमी नहीं, चारों तरफ दुख ही दुख, हर प्रकार का। महामारी का दुख, घरों में बंद होने का दुख, नौकरियां जाने का दुख, फैक्ट्रियां बंद होने के कारण दुख, लाखों लोग मृत्यु को प्राप्त हुए हैं, उनके विछोह का दुख, और कुछ कमी थी तो तूफान का दुख। चारों तरफ हमारे शहर में, हमारे देश में, सारे विश्व में अगर आप थोड़ी देर भी उस तरफ ध्यान दें, मन में अपने लाएं कि अस्पतालों में किस तरह से लोग पड़े हैं, कैसे डॉक्टरों को लगे हुए हैं उनको किसी तरह से बचाने में उनका जीवन, तो सहज ही ये भाव जागता है कि इन सब के दुख दूर हों, हम भी कुछ कर पाएँ। ऐसी परिस्थिति नहीं, हम भी खुद बंद हैं। जो भी कुछ कर पाते हैं, जो लोग करें, ऐसी शुभकामना, ऐसी इच्छा, जो सक्षम है कुछ करने में वो लोग कुछ करें। हम लोग शुभकामनाओं के रूप में, मैत्री करुणा के रूप में अच्छी तरंगे फैला के वातावरण में प्रयास कर सकते हैं कि वातावरण में पॉजिटिविटी आए, कुछ होप आए, उम्मीद जागे। अपनी पारमियों के बल पे सभी बुद्धों की पारमियों के बल पे ये आवाहन कर सकते हैं कि उनकी पारमियों के बल पे सबके दुख दूर हों। और ऐसी भावना जब मन में जागती है तो शरीर पे उसका असर होता है। तो शरीर की ओर देख के हृदय वस्तु पे, चेस्ट में, शरीर में कहीं पे भी ऐसी वार्म हार्टेड फीलिंग्स जागती हैं तो उसको सारे शरीर में व्याप्त करते हैं और फिर फैलाने का प्रयास करते हैं। सहगतेन चेतसा एकं दिशं भरित्वा विहरति। एक दिशा में मैं करुण चित्त से उस दिशा को व्याप्त करके विहार करता हूँ। तो अपने शरीर की फीलिंग्स को, तरंगों को एक दिशा में फैलाने का प्रयास करते हैं। तथा द्वितीयं तथा तृतीयं तथा चतुर्थम, इसी प्रकार दूसरी, तीसरी, चौथी दिशा में। चारों दिशाओं व्याप्त करके फिर नीचे, ऊपर, आड़े, तिरछे, इस प्रकार 10 दिशाओं को करुणा की तरंगों से व्याप्त करने का अभ्यास करते हैं थोड़ी देर। मन में यही भाव कि सभी दुखी प्राणियों के दुख दूर हो, कष्ट दूर हो, दुख दूर होने में जो बाधाएं हैं वो सब दूर हटें, रोगियों के उपचार ठीक से हो, दवाइयाँ उचित मिल पाएँ, नई दवाइयाँ निकल पाएँ और प्रभावी हो, ताकि महामारी का प्रकोप रुक सके। लाखों लोग अपनी जान गंवा चुके हैं, भारत में भी हज़ारों लोग जान गंवा चुके हैं, और यही हाल रहा तो न जाने कहाँ जाके रुकेगी बात। तो हृदय से ये भाव हो, तरंगे अपने आप फैलती हैं सभी दिशाओं में। इस दिशा के प्राणी, इस दिशा के प्राणी, इस दिशा के प्राणी, सबके प्रति करुणा का भाव। अठानाटी सूत्र के जो वर्सेस हैं वो थोड़ी चांट कर लेते हैं और फिर इसी से समाप्त करेंगे। वचसा मनसा चैव, कोशिश करें कि ध्यान शरीर की तरंगों पे भी रहे। वचसा मनसा चैव वन्दामेते तथागते, शयने आसने ठाने वमने चापि सर्वदा, सदा सुखेन रक्षन्तु बुद्धा सन्ति करातुअं, ते हि त्वं रक्षितो सन्तो मुक्तो सर्वभयेन च। सर्वरोगविनिमुक्तो सर्वसन्तापवर्जितो, सर्ववैरमतिकन्तो निवृतो च त्वं भव। आप वो ले लो, मेरे को दूसरी किताब दे, हिंदी वाले जेम लिखा ना इस पे, PRI के। मैं पढ़ता हूँ, पहले मैं रीड करूँगा, आप पीछे पीछे करूँगा। सर्वरोगा विनिमुक्तो सर्वसन्तापवर्जितो, सर्ववैरमतिकन्तो निवृतो च त्वं भव। You have to wait. I'll stop now. ते संसच्चेन शीलेन खन्ति मेक्ता बलेन च, ते पितुमि अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। अब अगले 4 साथ साथ बोले। पुरत्तिमिस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति भूता महीद्विका, ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। दक्षिणस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति देवा महीद्विका, ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। पश्चिमस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति नागा महीद्विका, ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। उत्तरस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति यक्खा महीद्विका, ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। So when I give gaps, इन गैप के बीच में then again अगर छूट गया हो शरीर की तरंगों को देखना, तो थोड़ी देर तरंगे देख के फैला देते हैं। अब अगले 3 वर्सेस साथ साथ पढ़ेंगे। पुरत्तिमेन धटरट्ठो दक्षिणेन विरुल्लको, पश्चिमेन विरूपको कुबेरोत्तरं दिशं, चत्तारो ते महाराजा लोकपालाय सस्सिनो, तेऽपि तुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च आकाशट्ठा च भूमट्ठा देवानागा महिद्धिका तेऽपि तुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च संविधियो विभज्यन्तु स्वकोरोगो विनश्यतु माते भवतु अन्तरायो सुखी दीर्घायुको भव भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवान् बुद्धं भगवन्तं अभिवादयामि स्वागतो भगवता धम्मो धम्ममस्सामि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो